Welcome everybody back to Thoughts of a Born Free, the pursuit of success. I'm here with my good friend Levin, and he'll be talking to us about his BCOM general degree, which has its own specificities after just the name. More than a name, but beyond that, Levin, how are you?
Fine, and you? Thanks for having me here today.
Thank you so much. You know, we did a bit of work before this, so best believe if you're gonna come for the interview show, like there's work involved.
Be prepared.
Be prepared. I'm going to ambush you with a series of yo, can you help me with something real quick? But nonetheless, Levin, BCom General, you do your adverts. How did you get into it, and what made you decide to go into the BComs?
Well, firstly, obviously, I chose WITS because WITS was offering the BCom General, right? And they were the only university that offered it. And in the start, obviously, you don't have to go and choose your set majors with the BCom General. You start off very basic, and you can see and have a feel for what you like, what you don't like, which I feel not a lot of universities offer in the start. So this should give you a sense, you know, you're not set into one course and you're stuck there for the next 3 years. So to start off with the BCom General, obviously you have a couple subjects that's basic in your first year, being accounting, which is a full year subject. You have computational mathematics, that and business statistics goes together. You have to pass computational mathematics before you go to business statistics. If you don't do that, you have to do it the next year.
Okay, here's my question. What is that? That sounds very, very complicated.
Computational mathematics goes along the lines of calculus.
Okay.
And then differentiation as well.
Okay.
So it's your maths just a bit more complex, and it's all to do with finance as well.
So you would have needed to take in math core to get that done.
Your requirement for the degree, you need
Okay.
math core.
Okay.
That is a requirement. Apart from your APS,
Okay.
math core. Yeah, so you have your computational mathematics, business statistics, those go hand in hand. Those are semester courses. So you have to pass it in the first semester.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't pass computational mathematics in your first semester, you have to do it again in the second semester.
Okay.
Yeah.
They got you.
They got you. And then your other subjects is commercial law. That was a 6 month as well. Information systems, which was a 6 months course as well. And economics, we did so that got split into two. So you got economics 1A and economics 1E. But they go hand in hand. But those you have to do first semester's the one, second semester's the other half. Yeah. So first year those are your subjects.
Okay.
If I'm not missing anything.
There's always more, guys. We're here to give you a brief overview, you know, of the things that they don't tell you. So, for example, my side, what I'm quite interested in with the BCom General that you explained to me earlier is the being able to like get a feel for everything, and then like you whittle it down as you go through the year. So, like in the second year, you explained to me that you take 3, and then final third year you take 2.
So essentially, your degree is you're gonna have 2 majors when you come out of it.
Okay.
So second year being you choose 3 potential majors.
Mm-hmm.
So of all the subjects you've done in first year, from there you build on it. So you have options such as your business law, you have auditing, taxation, you have economics as well, you have corporate finance, investments, you have your management, marketing, human resources, risk management as well. So you choose 3 of them, 3 subjects from that. Me being in my second year when I chose management, marketing, and corporate finance and investment.
Okay.
Yeah, so to further break that down, so corporate finance and investment is split into 2 semesters as well. So corporate finance was the first semester, second semester was investments. So that's one potential major for me. My second potential major was management. First semester was principles of management, and then second semester was principles of management but entrepreneurship.
Okay, so do all of them have like this duality, like two pieces to it?
So not all of them.
Okay.
Had you chose, for example, they get split into 3 ways. You get a full year course or full year subject, so that goes throughout the whole year, depending on what the subject is. Then you have half semester or half year courses, not half semester. Right, so that's where first semester you do the one subject, second semester you do another subject.
Okay.
So those half year ones, you do that one, and then your June or so, you write your exam, and then you're done with that subject, you pass it.
Okay.
Then you start with your next one, and then you November time you'll have your second load of exams.
Sure.
So then also before you carry on, so with marketing, that got split into four for me.
Okay.
So those are block courses. So you in your year you have 4 blocks, 2 semesters, and then your full year, obviously. So marketing was split into retail marketing, principles of marketing, and communication, and there was one more. Don't hold me to it.
I won't hold you to it, my man. To be fair, you did have all of these things that you done. And how did you manage it in terms of time and everything else like that? Because that sounds like a lot. 3 majors at a point. And, yeah.
The biggest thing is time-wise, and at that time we still dual system. So some was on campus, some was at home.
Okay.
Biggest challenge I had, for example, was you have an exam due, for example, the Tuesday, that gets released on Saturday,
Okay.
and then the Monday you're writing an exam for another subject.
So you have 2 exams, basically almost at the same time.
Exactly, and you have to make it work.
Okay.
So some is now you have to go right on campus, and you have to be home in time to submit your other exam from home. So time-wise, you have to manage your time real well. You have to work at it, and you have to keep up. You can't say you're gonna focus on one subject and then you get left behind. No lies, it's so fast-paced as well because you're working at about like 2 months a course for your block courses, 2 months or less. And with your block courses, what happens is you do your block, for example, block 1, right? Let's say I'm doing principles of marketing. So block 1, I do it until the block ends, right? But my assessment isn't done for it. I still have to write the exam for it. But I'm done with that subject now. Now block 2, I'm already on the next part, which for example would have been, I think, retail marketing. Now I'm doing that in the next block, right?
Sure.
And then once the block ends, and then exam time, I must write the exam for block 1 and block 2 in June. Yet we haven't went back and done any lectures on those block 1s anymore. So that you have to revise and go back.
Okay, so you should also like make sure that if you do have a block type subject, you keep your notes, you keep everything.
Keep revising, you have to
keep it fresh in your mind.
As it goes, you have your quizzes or you have your tests in between, but it still comes down to your final assessment for that particular subject. And that particular subject is done half year. So with your exam time, that's when it's due, usually.
So what happens, let's say for example things don't go well, God forbid, and like a block subject of yours doesn't come out the way you need it to be, and you just say you failed it, but do you now have a halt on your next sets, or do you do them and you just have to take it in the next year?
Next year. So yeah, so it depends. So like as I was saying, computational mathematics and business statistics, you have to pass the one before you go to the next one. Right? With these ones here, if you don't, for example, pass it in that specific year, you have to wait till the next year to redo it. There's no way of saying, okay, you didn't complete block 1's module now, you can do block 1 module with block 4 at the same time. So according to my knowledge, you cannot do that.
Sure.
And also, one of the biggest things that also not many know is there's no supplementaries.
No supplementary exams.
No
supplementary.
One shot. There is pre-requirements for supplementaries, but that's usually only in your 3rd year or your final year of study. You have to have, for example, that you haven't failed before, or you haven't failed a bunch of subjects by a certain percentage. I think it's about 40 or 50%. Yeah, so that's something. It depends. It all depends on the course that you are at as well. But in my course, there is no supplementaries.
No subs.
1st, 2nd year.
Sure.
No subs. I think there is one where you allowed one supplementary in your final year, provided you haven't failed any other subjects.
No, that's a steep requirement. That's a steep requirement. You know,
It is.
you've got to leave these business jokes alone. Like the business students don't really do anything. Guys, no subs. Serious stuff. So you mentioned that you went to Wits. Is there a reason specifically why you chose Wits? Is there something that you just like? Wits is what's the slogan of Wits again?
Good question.
Yeah. You guys will tell us in the comments. But yeah, is there a reason why you chose this specifically besides the fact that they were the only ones that offered the BCOM general? Is there something else you like? Something about the campus? Is it close to home or?
Okay, no, it's definitely not close to home. It's close to 60 kilometers away from home. So commuting is definitely a challenge, big challenge. And also parking wise, you are limited with parking, and to park on the facilities you have to pay as well.
Okay, so it's not free parking.
It's not free parking. It's not first come first serve. I think a parking permit for the year is about between 1,200 to 1,800. I think so.
Oof, That's a bit steep. That's a
It
bit
is steep, and you don't have any spot reserved. So you don't have a specific parking. If you get there, if there's no parking, there's no
There's
parking.
no parking. Damn.
Yeah. So obviously, Vert's main reason was initially that it had my course.
Mhm.
Obviously, I wanted to go there at the university, and also they were at that stage. They were one of the top-rated universities. They still are, maybe not right in the top anymore, and their degrees are internationally recognized.
That's
main
really
thing.
good. That's very important.
So that's some of the main points that I wanted to be there, and I wanted to go to Vert's.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you about your degree. So do you have does it have international crossover, and also with your degree having it done with the international recognition, where would you like where would you like to fit in with your degree? Because I know now you're entering your third year, you're gonna have picked your two subjects. What are your two subjects, and what are their crossovers? Do you want to go international with it? Do you want to stay local? And what type of work would you like to be doing with the degree?
So obviously now from my three majors that I had, potential majors in second year, was my finance, management and marketing. So in my third year, which will be a double major once I qualify, I went into finance and management.
Okay.
So now obviously with finance and management, so my finance part will be corporate finance and investment. Now in third year, that's a full year subject.
Mm-hmm.
So that you do throughout the whole year. So you start off with your assessments in the beginning of the year, you do a mid-year exam, and you do a final exam for the year with that. Then I'm doing my management. Management gets split up into four block courses now. So it's operation management, strategic management, there's two others.
I'm not gonna hold you to
Not gonna hold me to it, yeah. So I'm looking to go into finance and management. So financial manager wise, and also it's versatile. It depends what comes along. You can become a financial advisor or something. It keeps my options open. Right?
Okay, that's
But in the sense is that obviously ideally we'd be looking to go abroad, wherever it may be, if the job comes along, we'll take it. Locally, in the beginning, obviously to start up and to gain experience and everything, would be ideal to start off here.
Okay.
But if the opportunity arises, abroad would definitely be the way to go.
Be the way to go. Because finance is finance. You have to learn a bit more about the laws of the country, but finance is finance.
Finance is finance, and also one thing is what company operates without finance.
You see,
there's no company. So job-wise, it's more ideal, and it probably gives you a better chance as well as finding a job around.
Okay, no, that's great. I wanted to ask. So we mentioned that math was a subject that is a prerequisite. Are there any other prerequisites? And what was the APS score when you needed to apply? Let's say if I was there and I wanted to apply, roughly APS score and subjects that you would advise me taking, and subjects that I need to have taken.
So the main thing for my course is you have to have core maths and you have to have English.
Okay.
So I don't know about the levels, but I know maths you have to have about a 60% and higher.
Okay.
English as well. English might actually be 50% and above. This was a while back. So if I'm making any mistakes, their website does help. I think the APS score is between 40 and 42 is your requirement.
Is that with or without allo?
Without, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Without allo. That's a bit steep. That's a bit 40.
It is not the easiest to get into. So it's nothing about business jokes here.
There's no business jokes here, man. 40 APS score, that's a serious score.
Yeah.
Sure. So now I also want to ask in terms of applying, how's the application process for you, and also what advice would you give to people trying to apply to this course, and mistakes that you learned from in terms of the first introduction, that difference between high school and your university life.
Yeah, so biggest thing is that obviously when we were applying to university during the COVID period as well. So if you had any issues, it's not like you could just physically go onto campus or whatever and sort it out at the same time. So a lot of things I dealt online.
Yeah.
One of the things I had to double check and confirm that they are getting my documents, they are getting my academic information and all that. And I had to just follow up and make sure okay, I am going to get registered and all of that. So registration period, obviously you have to just make sure you prepared, and you don't just wait and hope that they're gonna get back to you. So that was one of the things you have to be certain of. And the application was online. I think you apply online, you get a temporary ID that you use to log in to monitor your account, because you'll obviously get your provisional acceptance and all that. I think it's about 100 rand your fee to apply. It's not too bad. And then then you're ready to go. Then obviously once you were registered, you have to just go onto campus. You have to get a student card. And depending on your course, like mine obviously was the business school, so we got like these bags or whatever, and you just like there's business school on it. So you go there, you collect everything, you do your student card, you get your picture, and then you are, as they say, a Vitsi.
A Vitsi, So you get registered, you do everything else like that. You're still in COVID time, so it's not really so much going into school often. But now COVID times are over. How's life on campus? How is the environment of going to school, having to study, coming back home, like that whole you're almost like there so often that you'd be like, oh, might as well just live on this place. How is that? Like the lectures, the all of the things that come with being a university student. How does that work in terms of like if you just left high school now and you're being an introduction, like you just showed up at university, how would you best brace somebody for it?
Biggest thing is there's a big jump. Nothing can really prepare you. You can do your best. Your biggest friend is going to be self-study also. At the end of the day, you'll have your lecturers, you'll have whoever there to help you, but you still need to work. No one's going to run around you, to babysit you or say, no one's saying, you're not having even a bell to ring to say, you know what, next class, this is due, come on, hand it into me. Honestly, you very rarely will your lecturer even remember you by name. You are just a student number. That's already known as. And so with us, we still not fully COVID restrictions, whatever, but we still classes online and offline. So like some of my subjects should have a class on a Tuesday that's online at home, and then on a Wednesday we have on campus. So campus life hasn't been as hectic for me because they're still keeping it half and half. Slightly, they're trying to reintroduce it because obviously the feel of it is you need to get there and be there on campus more often. Campus is really big as well, so you need to know your way, where you're going. You get lost, so you're probably gonna get lost. You need to get a map or something
to figure it
out. And so lecture wise, you attend a lecture. Some of the lectures are 40 minutes. Some of them are 2 hours, close to 2 hours.
Any breaks? Those two hours. Sorry about that, everybody. There is once again a space camera turning off issue, But nonetheless, basically, we're talking about the campus, the lectures. Some of them be 2 hours long, and you got to work out how you're going to survive them. I wanted to ask, what bit of advice could you give somebody that's maybe like half about entering BCOM general or going to a specific one? What would you give them advice about?
So first thing is obviously, if you're not sure 100% that you're definitely going to go into BCOM accounting, BCOM law, whatever it is, this gives you the option, right?
Okay.
And even if you think you know what you want to do, sometimes you don't exactly. Some people, you go into accounting, you decide later on, hey, you know what, I want to be a teacher. So if this year it gives you the option early on, decide what you want to do. If you're not sure, you stick within your fields and you choose the BCOM general. It helps you. So you can see, okay, you get a taste of law, you get a taste of accounting, you get a taste of a little bit of everything to see what draws you in more. And from there, you get to choose and narrow it down as the years go down the line. So it would definitely be a recommendation if you're not sure what you want to study within the field. Choose your BCOM general.
BCOM general is the way to go. It just keeps you in the good space that you don't have the pressure also of like, oh, I picked this and I need to choose.
Keeps your options open.
Perfect. What's one negative thing that you could say about your degree that you're like, oh, I wish I knew this
beforehand? Main thing is obviously that with your requirements, your minimum requirements of passing. So first thing you need to know is that you need a minimum of 50%, basically 50% to pass all of your subjects.
Okay.
And you're memorizing for certain subjects, finance 101, is you have to memorize your formulas. No formula sheet, so you're memorizing formulas, you're memorizing your notes, you're memorizing textbooks. Everything when it comes to exams. And also, the big thing, one of the biggest things I never mentioned was there's something called negative marking.
Ooh, that sounds crazy.
Yeah, so negative marking for certain subjects, that's a big thing as well.
What is negative?
It's
marking?
negative marking is negative.
Whatever they mark incorrectly.
So basically,
or-
whatever. Let's say you're doing a multiple choice question,
Mhm.
right? It's out of 4 marks. So if you get it correct, 4 marks. If you leave it out, you don't get anything. And if you choose the answer incorrectly, -2.
Okay, so there's sometimes where it's like rather not gamble.
So they say that that's the idea they want to get across to people, or the lesson is that don't guess.
no.
If you're not sure about it, you rather leave it out.
Mhm.
Because now people just put their luck or faith in it and 1, 2, 3, and they choose one of them. So rather not do that. You either gamble with a 0 or -2.
That's really dangerous. That's a hectic one. So
And
I think
that's
that's
what
quite
comes in
interesting
when you
one.
make a mistake. Then, like, you generally
Yeah.
think, okay, you did this right, but then again, you're learning formulas. So you mess up your formula, you mess up your answer.
Wow. So negative marking, watch out for that one. But other than that, there is many upsides to BCom General. The ability to keep on choosing and figuring yourself out as your degree goes. Because as a person, you grow throughout university as well, and you figure out what works best with you and everything else like that.
Exactly, and you're coming up with a double major.
You don't lose. You
You
don't
don't
lose. So, Vivian, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
You'll
for
be
having
back.
me. Again.
I'll have you again and again, my man.
With less
We'll
issues,
figure it out.
hopefully.
Always working on it. It's always improving.
Always
Always improving.
developing.
Thank
Okay,
you,
see you.
man.
Thank you.
I'll see you around.